What's up, gang? It's Golden Gun, and I'm back with another Marvel Contest of Champions video. In today's video, we got a new installment to the Winter of Woe quest. We got Winter of Woe Part 2. Part 2's boss is Nebula, that girl right there, and she comes with a set of nodes on her that makes this a task. I'm going to try to break it down simply for you guys before we actually hop into the video. She basically has a node that's going to make her unblockable every 15 seconds. And then on the 15 seconds that she's not unblockable, she's applying shocks to you every time you hit into her block. One more time on that. She has a node that makes her unblockable every 15 seconds. And then once that 15 seconds is up, she switches to a mode where she applies shocks to you every time you hit her block. And then it just bounces back and forth throughout the fight. She also has a node on her that makes her auto block 100% of the time. So she's auto blocking everything. You can get her to decrease the amount of, because it's 100%, you can decrease that 100% per buff you have on you. So the more buffs you have, the less she's going to be auto blocking. So run that through one more time for y'all. She's going to be unblockable every 15 seconds. Once that 15 seconds is up, she's going to be applying shocks to you every time that you hit her block. It's going to switch back and forth, back and forth, back and forth between those two modes every 15 seconds. She has an auto block ability. It's 100% chance that she's going to auto block everything that you throw at her. You can decrease that 100% chance per the buff you have on you. So the more buffs you got, the less she's going to auto block. And that's basically the fight in a nutshell. So we also got, as y'all can see on the screen, where he at? Over there. Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer is going to be good for, and before we hop in, I'm going to give you guys 4 pointers on Silver Surfer. So we'll hop into here. Point number 1, he does not need to be awakened. As you guys can see, it just increases the potency of his buffs, but it doesn't stop him from doing anything that he does besides basically get more damage. So the higher his SIG is, the more basically damage he's going to do, the more power he's going to gain, and the more armor he's going to have for himself. So it's not needed though. You still gain your power, you still get your armor buffs, and you still get your fury buffs. Okay. Point number 2, Silver Surfer takes 100% less damage from shock debuffs, which is going to help big time against this Nebula with the nodes that she has connected to her. It's still a debuff, so every time that Nebula would apply a shock to Silver Surfer, he's still going to be shocked. It's still going to have a debuff on him, but the debuff is going to do no damage to him. And if you have willpower mastery unlocked, then you'll actually be healing from that those shock debuffs. Not only will those debuffs be on you, but they are counted as unique buffs toward Silver Surfer, which makes him do more damage in his attacks. So if you don't have willpower unlocked, don't fret. It doesn't mean, it just means that you're not going to lose any health. So when you get shock debuffs on you with Silver Surfer and you don't have willpower, you're not going to lose any health from the shock debuffs, but you're also not going to gain any health from the willpower. So that's point number 2. Point number 3 is heavy attack. Where we at with the heavy attack? I can't find it, but basically on okay, there we go. When charging a heavy attack, when you charge a heavy attack, you gain a 1.2 second phase buff. So you can't be hit for a little over 1 second. It's about enough time for 2 hits. So if you don't get out of the way or block before the defender does its 3rd hit, then you're gonna get smacked with it, whether it's a special attack or not. And also with the heavy attack, you refresh whatever buffs you have active on Silver Surfer. I think that's all the points that I had. So, once again, let me run through those again. You don't need him to be duped. He takes 0 damage from shock debuffs, so don't worry about the shock debuffs from the node that Nebula has connected to her. Heavy attacks is going to be how you keep your buffs active and how you activate more buffs, because we're not going to be doing it in this fight through his special one. This is not a tutorial on how to use Silver Surfer. This is just a tutorial on how to use Silver Surfer to do this fight how I did it. So without further ado, I think that's everything. All the 4 pointers that I wanted to address beforehand before we hopped into the video, so that way when the video starts, you already know what to look for, and I can continue to give you guys play-by-play on everything else that I did. All right, wish me luck commentating this, you guys. As y'all can see, I switched to the 7-star rank 1, and to be honest, I think the 6-star rank 5 is a better option for this anyways, but we'll have fun with the 7-star. Right from the gate, we're going for the Fury. We're activating that Fury buff by waiting for it to pop up, and as soon as it pops up, we're throwing the heavy attack, as you just seen. Now we're waiting for the buffs to come back active. You see the power game first, Fury second. I'm gonna activate it with the Fury ready. So now I got 2 Fury buffs. From here, we're gonna go for a power game buff. The buffs switch every 2 seconds, and then you can activate a buff every 9 seconds. So we now have 2 Fury buffs and 1 power game buff active, and now we're gonna go for the armor buff. Fury pass, armor. There it goes right there. Activate the heavy. Remember that we're phasing, so we can't be hit for 2 hits. And now we got 2 Furies, 1 armor, 1 power. And then from here, to make sure we keep all our buffs active, we need to wait for a buff to expire, and we're waiting for the power game buff to expire. As soon as it expires, we throw our heavy to reactivate the power gain along with the 2 Furies and the armor. And then it's just rinse and repeat from there. Try not to get hit and try not to lose our buffs. So we're waiting for Fury to come, or for power again to come. Throw the heavy. By activating that power again, we keep our Furies and our armors refreshed. Rinse and repeat. Wait for that power game buff to expire. Throw our heavy to reactivate it. And refresh all of our buffs. This was about as safe as I could play it, and keep remembering where I was in the fight to keep activating my buffs. If you found a way to get more buffs active than that, awesome. That just means you're doing more damage, but I played it as safe as I could play it without having to think as much as it takes in order to, because it's a lot that goes into playing Silver Surfer on the mental, trying to keep that stuff timed up. So this was the rotation that I found feasible for me. It was easy. I didn't have to do too much thinking. Once again, though that special 2 is unblockable, you also get an unblockable buff with that, so get a couple free hits in on Nebula. Our power game just expired, so we reactivated it by using our heavy attack. On normal circumstances, we can activate these buffs with our special attack or our heavy attack, but with this auto block that she got going, it's safer to just do it through the heavy attack. So boom, right there, I just refreshed all buffs right there. And once again, when you come out, get your 2 Fury buffs first. Once you get your 2 Fury buffs, activate your power game buff, and then after you activate your power game buff, so you're gonna have 2 Furies in a power game, then activate your armor buff. And then once you have 2 Furies, a power game, and an armor buff active, you wanna wait for the power game buff to expire, and once it expires, throw your heavy attack to refresh not only the the power gain buff, but the fury buff and the armor buff. And from there, just keep those 3 buffs active throughout the fight, or more if you can get more active, because you can do 2 of each. So if you can get more of each category active, even better. This is how many I was able to get active safely. Still play the fight safely, punching into her block. Those shocks don't matter, which is healing. And waiting for that fury buff to expire when it's time. And when it do, activate it again. There it go. Let's see if I can give you guys a play-by-play through this jump. So we're watching the fury buff now. It hasn't expired yet. Hasn't expired yet. It just expired. I threw the heavy to reactivate. Just that simple. Once you get your buffs activated, you want to use your power gain buff to keep those buffs refreshed. Are we going to finish this thing with a full bar of health? Power gain just expired. Let's get back to the power gain. Once again, they switch every 2 seconds. There it go. Throw the heavy. Refresh it. You have a safeguard with that heavy because you also get a phase buff, so you can't be hit for 2 hits. You can pretty much throw that heavy whenever you want to. Okay, we got another cosmic buff. The cosmic buff comes back, and once you use it to activate a buff, it goes in cooldown for 9 seconds, and then it comes back. Once it comes back, you want to make sure that your power gain buff has expired before you use your heavy attack again, so that you can, because it only refreshes the buffs when you activate a buff that's not active. So if you already got a power gain active and you try to refresh the buffs, they're not gonna refresh. You want to make sure the power gain is expired and then get it refreshed, put back on as quickly as possible. One more time through. Wait for a power gain. Okay, it expired. Through our heavy, got the power gain back, and we good. One more time. Cosmic buff is ready. Do not throw the heavy yet. Wait for the power gain to expire. Okay, it expired. Wait for the power gain buff to come back around. It's coming right now. Throw the heavy now. There you go. Refresh. All buffs are active on you. And once again, the more buffs you have on you, the less she auto blocks. That willpower kept us topped up in health for most of this fight. Still, one hit could change that in a heartbeat. That is gonna basically wrap it up for this video. I gotta get to work on recording this. I'm gonna try to figure out who I'm gonna use for the other objective. It's probably gonna be Hercules, so be on the lookout for that video. You guys make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.